Hey everyone, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe if you're new. My name is Alvin. I lead right on most issues and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Hey, so in this video, we're going to be going over the 2024 Senate elections. Um, it's a big election year in this November, and there's going to be a variety of Senate elections, and Republicans seem to have the advantage going into this one with with lots of Democratic Senate seats currently up.
Yep, so the way the Senate worked, a third of each of the entire Senate is up for re-election every 2 year cycle. And the other two cycles are pretty good for Democrats, but this one is horrible in exchange. And so basically, a lot of their competitive seats are up for reelection, which is why after we filled out the safe states for Democrats and Republicans, that we don't need to talk about. Democrats are only at 39 seats, while Republicans are three off of getting to 50 and four off from a majority. So it's going to be quite difficult for Democrats to maintain that majority.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with Minnesota and Virginia. We wanted to just discuss this just because it's worth mentioning, but they are going to go save Democrat. You want to talk about why?
Oh yeah. So I mean, Minnesota, Virginia, and I guess you can even say Maine here, all have like super strong
Oh yeah,
Democratic incumbents. Like in 2018, these incumbents pretty much stomped. Tim Kaine won by a pretty safe 16 points, Klobuchar more than 20, and then Angus King, I think, probably more than 20 as well. Like, yeah, more around 20 points as well. So yeah, each of these incumbents are incredibly popular, and and they're all running for re-election. So I imagine they're just going to stomp the same way they did in prior years and continue their amazing electoral trends. So I think they're all
yeah.
solid blue.
I think we are getting more polarized, but that's just way too much for any Republican to overcome there. It does put the Democrats a little closer. We also have the state of New Mexico, which I guess we could probably somewhat say the same thing about.
Yeah, I mean, I think who's up in New Mexico? Is it Lujan or uh
Heinrich.
Heinrich's up?
Heinrich.
Okay, Heinrich's more popular than Lujan. He's been around longer. So yeah, I imagine yeah, he'll get a double digit win here as well. Um and then yeah, after that I think we can go to West Virginia here, which is pretty important because this is Joe Manchin, the Democrat who's managed to win with West Virginia, an extremely red state, is retiring. So this basically frees us up for Republicans to just easily take this. Um, I believe their incumbent governor is running for that seat, and yeah, it was just gonna destroy.
Yeah. In the past, there was some speculation about whether or not Justice would run. He has some history. I think he was also a Democrat in the past, and he kind of like
Hmm.
flip-flopped here and there, but he has gotten the Trump endorsement. He is winning the primary over Alex Mooney, who was seen as a potential competitor. Just because he has history in there. He is a representative in the House for West Virginia, but the governor is definitely in the lead for this one. And with Joe Manchin not running anymore, it is over for the Democrats in the state of West Virginia. He was kind of the last anchor there for them, and now it's going to be a flip, the first
Yeah,
flip we have here.
definitely gonna be a flip. Um, okay, so now all of these are, I imagine, less than 10 points. Like these are gonna be closer races.
I think
Um,
Pennsylvania has a case of being over 10 points still,
No, you're
though.
right. So yeah, so okay, Pennsylvania I think could go either way here. So here we have Bob Casey Jr. I believe he's the son of like an extremely popular governor and is an extremely popular senator himself. Uh, yeah, I mean he's been doing electorally flawless for Pennsylvania, like winning by double digits. And the Republican running against him actually lost the primary in 2022 and is on track to win the primary in 2024. Uh, the Republican was recruited by other like Republicans in Congress and the Senate, so they think he's their best candidate. But yeah, I don't think Dave McCormick, who's the Republican candidate, is really going to do much to stand up against Casey. I personally think it's likely blue, 5 to 10 points to the Democrats. Like I don't, maybe it'll go double digits, but yeah, I think chances are likely.
Yeah, if you are trying to get your family into politics for the long run, always name your sons like your name and then Junior. Okay, that's a good, usually a good rule of thumb. Or the same first name, like George Bush or whatever. Because if you are popular, you're gonna get your son in. That's usually how it works. And so, yeah, I think in Pennsylvania, the debate is whether he's going to win by over 10 or not. I think McCormick is not a strong candidate, and I would honestly be willing at this point to go put it in safe. But it is a presidential year, it's going to be
hmm
more polarized, so it's fine. We can put it in likely for now.
Okay, after that, I think it's worth going to Florida.
Florida.
And looking at that, I mean, as we mentioned in prior videos, Florida has been trending to the right, and it's been pretty clearly trending to the right. Although, I mean, I think Democrats are gonna like unlike in 2022 where Democrats didn't really put as much money into the state. I think they're gonna be putting more money into the state in 2024. Also, Rick Scott isn't as popular as a lot of the other candidates that were up, like Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio. Yeah, I mean, he's previously been more on the more extreme wing of the Republican Party relative to those. And also, Democrats have a decent candidate, Debbie. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this name so badly. It's like Demi Muaskrel Powell or something. No, DMP. I'm going. No, stop, Alvin. Don't. You can't laugh at that. Okay,
I can't
it's
stop laughing.
DMP, bro. DMP. Okay, she's a Florida Dem. She's previously won races in the South Florida House seat. She lost her seat in 2020 with the red wave there, like the regional red wave there. I
Yeah.
think she puts up a decent fight. Does she win? I mean, I can't pronounce her name, unfortunately. I'm never gonna try
No.
that again and embarrass myself like that. But yeah, I think it's likely red, personally.
I'm just gonna say it's McCarcel Powell. I really hope that's right. I'm sorry, this part of her last name really sounds like a Pokemon, so it's
Oh my
difficult.
God, bro.
But yeah, no. I think it's just gonna be lean to likely and probably likely. We
Yeah.
we just seen
Oh
the
yeah,
shifts
definitely
in
likely.
Florida. Yeah, I mean it is a presidential year, and if Trump has a really bad year or something, it could go to lean or she could make this race competitive. But Rick Scott's incumbent. He's got really good fundraising numbers here, and he's not any Marco Rubio or Ron DeSantis, but he is an established incumbent,
Yeah.
former governor as well, current senator, right? So he's gonna be in a much better position than just some average Republican there. He is definitely winning this against someone that you cannot pronounce. All
Yeah,
right.
that is true.
All right.
Where do we go
Uh,
next here?
Texas.
Texas, yeah. So Texas, we have Ted Cruz, running against. I think Democrats are putting up Colin Allard. I forgot which area of the state he represents. I think the Dallas area. I might be wrong on that though. But yeah, he's a incumbent representative. Yeah, I mean, Ted Cruz does not have the best electoral record. I mean, he almost
Does
lost in
not.
2018, and yeah, he's not crazy popular either. And with the trends in the state, like I mean, I could see Dems doing quite well. I mean, I think Colin Allard will at least do better than Biden in the state and get this closer. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he has a non-zero chance of flipping
Correct.
Texas. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's still Texas. It's gonna be an uphill climb. I think as of right now, I'm still putting it lean R, but you never know. Like, we have to see where that goes. Like, I mean, his fundraising is solid. He really needs to get his name out there though. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
He is currently irrelevant. Not sure about his name recognition in Texas, but nationally he is completely irrelevant. So he does need to work on that.
Yeah.
However, I agree on the fact that Ted Cruz is not Greg Abbott. He's not the most popular person ever. He's got scandals. He's got that. Uh, he's not. He's just not likable. I will
Yeah.
say that. And thankfully, Beto is finally gone. We don't need to mention that name after this cycle ever again. Hopefully. Um, but yeah. I think we do have a new name in Texas. I don't know if that helps or hurts. I think we probably would have made it more solidly into the lead column if Beto was running, but he's not.
Mm.
Um, and I
That puts
think
like I mean already like just looking at it like Republicans are already at 50. Like if they have the presidency here, they have the
yeah,
Senate. That's
and
just
not that we have the Republicans having the Senate right now. I mean their presidency. We don't. We have Biden winning
yeah.
currently by a little, but there's still many states to go, and Democrats are 6 away. However, I will note that in Texas, right?
Mhm.
Ted Cruz in Texas, he just has a really bad history. He just doesn't have a good history in Texas.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think if we did a one of those videos where we did the best case, which we might need to get another one out. I think in a best case scenario, like you said, with a non-zero chance, we might be putting this tilt blue in a best case for the Democrats. So it
Yeah.
is possible. There's still it is worth putting money in here, but yeah. All right, let's continue. Um,
Yeah,
should we
we're
yeah, where do we go? I think we should do the Rust Belt just because these last states are a lot, especially Arizona. We have to end on Arizona, right? So Rust
yeah.
Belt.
Let's start with I mean, okay, I guess Wisconsin. I think I'm most confident about Wisconsin here.
Mm, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, Tammy Baldwin has a solid electoral record. She won by double digits, I believe, in 2018. Um, so I mean, and also something else to note here, Republicans did not really get any good candidates to run against her. So I actually think like I mean just going off that, I think she's immediately favored, even though it's like a historically a really close state. Like I think there's a shot this even goes into likely, but I mean yeah, for now I'd say lean. But yeah,
All right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Democrat here is probably going to outperform Biden. Um, and
for sure,
so
yeah.
it's gonna be in the lean Democrat as of right now. I think, however, um, I think Republicans. This is a very winnable race for Republicans. You just have to, Baldwin's sort of in this like 50-50 approval rating. It's not like she's an extremely popular
You're
incumbent.
right.
She can definitely be taken out. You just have to put the right candidate up for election and make this a competitive race. Get that fundraising up and definitely take that. Definitely could be flippable, but yeah, lean
Mm.
D for now. I guess we can just go to the neighbor then. Let's just go over to Michigan. Let's just go over to
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan Dems got a I mean got a pretty top notch recruit,
That's a
Elisa
good recruit.
Slotkin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she's representing a swing district. I think she's like definitely going to turn out those suburban voters in her favor.
Yeah.
And Republicans, I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, their primary is pretty split up right now. They have like James Craig, they have Peter Meyer, a former rep, and Mike Rogers, another former rep. Um, I mean, yeah, that's a lot. Like, I mean, Peter Meyer's on the more moderate side. Like I think he vote to impeach? I'm not sure, but like he might have. I think he might have. But he's on the really moderate side of the Republican Party. Um, Mike Rogers is slightly to the right of that, and I believe James Craig is around is even further to the right than that. So yeah, we'll see. And then I'm not really sure who's gonna come on top in this primary, but I think regardless, Elisa Slotkin is a strong candidate. And the Michigan GOP, like just being the way it is, like after 2022, it kind of just imploded. I think she's just immediately like favored, at least by a lean margin.
Agree. I think as well as with everything going on, you also have a good national environment in terms of like the presidency in Michigan, right? Like you have a pretty solid chance for Biden to win Michigan as well, out of any of these other swing states. And so with a good Michigan state party, I think it's a good shot for Lisa Slotkin, who's been a good House representative in terms of being good electorally for the Democrats. So
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see if James Craig can submit some real signatures this time around. Because in 2022 he was disqualified um, for not figuring out his signatures to submit to the ballots, which is really weird. But all right, should we just finish it out with Ohio here then
Yeah,
on the Rust Belt?
Ohio's really interesting because it's a red state. I mean, at least it's been red in recent elections. But Democrats have an incumbent here, Sherrod Brown, who's quite popular. Um, I mean, I would say this one, like initially, I would put it in the Republican column, just because they ran pretty good candidates, like Frank LaRose. I believe he's the Secretary of State. I could be wrong though. Maybe they turn. He's a statewide official. I know that for sure, and he did really well in 2022.
He
I think
is
he would.
Secretary of State.
Yeah,
He is.
I think he would beat Brown. They're also Matt Dolan's also running. He's a moderate Republican. I don't think he'd win the primary, but I think he'd beat Brown. The one caveat I have here is that the third Republican running, Bernie Moreno, who's like really far right, got the Trump endorsement like a week or two ago, and I think he's also endorsed by JD Vance also. I'm not 100% on the JD Vance endorsement actually, but I know Trump endorsed him recently. And if he wins, I think he's the only person who could lose on the Republican side. Like I'm pretty certain that he would, like if they put him up, that I don't think he'd be able to beat Sherrod Brown. So because of that recent development, I'd put Tilt R because he's not leading the polls right now. But I don't know. Like I think ever so slightly Tilt R. If Bernie Moreno wins his primary in the end with that Trump endorsement, I think Sherrod Brown would be like tilt or lean, and it'd be tilt or lean in favor of him. But yeah.
No, I think this could just be Tilt D nonetheless. I'm not sure because I think Sherrod Brown obviously okay. Sherrod Brown in Ohio did very well in 2018. Yes, it was a wave year for Democrats, but you have to remember how well Trump did in Ohio, right? Trump made Ohio not a swing state in presidential elections, okay? And Sherrod Brown still won the state by 7 or so points. And it is not 2018 anymore. I understand that it is 2024, but I think Ohio has shown an ability to split the ticket in 2022, with
That's
many,
true.
many more voters backing the governor over and not backing JD Vance, right? And
Yeah.
I think this is honestly tilt Democrat right now. No matter who the Republicans put up, Sherrod Brown is quite popular, and I think he is favored to win this race, although it is pretty much practically a coin flip.
Yeah, I think it depends. Yeah, it really does depend on that primary. But if yeah, like because like Frank LaRose, I believe is leading in the polls. Like for me, like I think if he were to be the nominee, then he'd have a better shot of winning. But if it was like uh the Trump endorsed Bernie Moreno, I don't think he'd be able to beat Brown. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean I'm still tilt R for now. Uh, but yeah, I mean, what do you want to do here?
Let's just put it to R for now. Let's just put it for now and see how the other states go. I'll just defer to you on that one. But if we
Mm,
go till R on a different one, we'll have to change this one back. You know what I mean? All right.
okay.
Let's go over to Montana. Montana is another one of these states where you have a Democrat who is in a Republican state as a legacy Democrat from back when we were not so polarized. And so this is John Tester, who has been in office for almost 2 decades. And John Tester, sometimes people call him, one of the more moderate Democrats in the Senate, although he's not really a moderate. He votes in line with the Democrats pretty much every time. Maybe once a year, he votes with the Republicans on a semi-significant vote. Um, But John Tester is over there in Montana, which is obviously a safe red state on other levels of government,
Hmm.
especially on the presidential level, you could say. Um, but he didn't win by that big of a margin. He wasn't like Sherrod Brown in Ohio in 2018. He didn't win by that much. And I think this time around is probably his undoing. I think this is the time where he probably goes down to really a generic Republican here, just because of how we're more polarized. It's probably now it's a presidential year. The Democrats don't even have a wave year to back him up, and the momentum's just not in his favor at all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Tester is pretty popular. He's pretty impressive approval, like a pretty impressive approval rating for being in a red state. Uh, but I will say it looks like Republicans are putting up a decent candidate against him, like an Army vet, Tim Sheehy. Uh, I mean, there's still a chance Matt Rosendale jumps into the race, which I think he's the worst candidate of the that the Republicans could put up. But yeah, I think as of right now, like just like he's running in a red state and he doesn't have that blue wave to help him. I'm not sure his approval will be enough, but I think it'll still be close. Yeah, maybe lean or tilt.
Yeah, lean seems right to me. I think this is Tester's end in the Senate. Um, yeah,
Uh,
too bad, so sad for him. We're gonna go to Nevada next.
yeah, Nevada. I actually think Jackie Rosen uh is favored here. Again, this is another like okay, we gotta look at the Republican primary situation. Like I believe the options are another Army veteran like Sam Brown, and Jim Marchant, who's like a crazy election denier. Um, so yeah, those are the. I think Sam Brown's pretty comfortably leading in the polls, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I mean, I actually think Jackie Rosen's favored. I mean, she did really well in 2018. She beat an incumbent by 5 points. Um,
Mm, true.
and then also like what little polling we have, like I believe even a Republican pollster against the more moderate, the I mean he's still right wing candidate, but like against Sam Brown showed her up like a decent mark, like 4 or 5 points, like the one poll we have, and it was a Republican pollster. So I'm pretty confident that she's at least ahead right now. Um, but yeah, I'd give her a lean. I think lean blue for that race, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Lean. I think if it does get close, it could be tilt blue in the future, but lean blue is good for now. And so yeah, even if Ohio's a toss-up, Republicans have clinched the Senate at this point,
Yeah.
according to a prediction, and we can go now to the state of Arizona where it is a absolute mess.
Yeah, Arizona's going to be kind of crazy. I mean, it still depends. Okay, so right now the Democrats have put up Ruben Gallego, a
Yeah.
Phoenix area representative. The Republicans have put up Kerry Lake, their governor candidate in 2022, who's very far right. And the incumbent, the moderate Democrat, I guess she's an independent now, Kristen Sinema, who was formerly a Democrat, has not decided whether or not she will run for reelection. So yeah, there's a risk of a three-way race here. I mean
Yeah.
this one's interesting because
Just
I
like
think
most. Go ahead.
oh sorry, I was saying like a lot of like because like you'd think I mean Cinema is a very weird candidate because she's a former Democrat, but she's more popular among Republicans than she is Democrats and Republicans and independents. And a lot of the polling, like when you think she'd take more of that Democratic vote, is still showing Gallego uh up against against the other two candidates. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Just because cinema basically only made the headlines in the past, 2 years for foiling Democratic plans, as obviously Democrats had that very slim majority in the Senate. And so every time
Hmm.
she would vote against a Democrat policy, she would basically, that was the only thing she made the news for. And she even took pride in that. She had that thumbs down moment, right? Where she like try to cutesily do a thumbs down to like to end some
Yeah.
Democrat bill. And it was just the whole thing. And so um yeah, Cinema, that's why she takes some Republican votes as well. She's a almost a true like independent in this case in the Senate, which we haven't seen in a while, although she does still vote with the Democrats usually. Um, I was gonna make a joke earlier. I was gonna say, as in most relationships, when you have a three-way, it gets complicated, and it gets complicated here. And so, um, I could see this going either way. We left this for last for a reason, right? Best for last. Most things to talk about for last. Um, it's been rated a toss up by every single one of these every single of these rating agencies. They cannot seem to decide. Obviously, it's tough to decide when you have a three-way race. But I think Democrats are still favored here.
Yeah,
Still huge.
I agree with that. I mean, uh, the state has been trending left. Lake is a very far right candidate who's very much on that election denial train. And yeah, I mean, I think with the abortion ballot in Arizona in 2024, it's likely going to be on the ballot. Um, and that those trends in Democrats' favor, plus lots of the polling seeming to go in Gallego's favor. I actually think yeah, there's still a slight advantage for Democrats here, so I'd say tilt blue. Yeah.
Yeah, and since we have Ohio as a true toss-up with us two, going one way or the other, we don't want to wimp out. So we can
Yeah,
just put,
tilts are for now.
yeah, I'll just tilt our for now 52 to 48 in terms of Republicans, but really Ohio is a true toss-up for us. But yeah, even if Democrats did take Ohio here in this scenario, they would still lose the Senate.
Hmm.
Um, and Republicans don't exactly have a Joe Manchin type, so it's even winning the Senate by one would be huge for Republicans. And with Arizona and a lot of these other states still up for grabs for Republicans, I think Republicans are taking the Senate in 2024, and it's very difficult to see how Democrats can stop them.
Yeah, it's like yeah, with all those red states like where Democrats are the incumbents, those are going to be like really difficult to hold. Those are like the main issues. And then on top of that, you have like other swing races and like traditional swing states that Democrats also have to hold on to. So yeah, it's a
Correct.
really bad year for Democrats. Like and
It's
just
a
in terms of like
really bad
structure,
year.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
will Mitch McConnell come back for his final stint as majority leader? We'll have to see. His health's not doing that well, but he might be tempted to. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like down below. Leave a comment, subscribe, and share the video.
Yeah, see you guys.
Thanks for watching. Bye.